Hey there, Solo here, and it has been a while since I said that, so yeah. But anyway, I wanted to quickly make this video for two reasons. First, it's been a while now since Outriders came out, and previously I did do a video about the announcement of Outriders. I really went into depth about what the game actually is, and because there was conversation about, oh, is this the new Destiny killer? So the game did launch on April 1st, so I wanted to talk about some of my impressions about it. I have been able to play it, so I just wanted to give my thoughts about that. But also for the second part of this, there's been quite a discussion within the Outriders community about what exactly is a live service game, because of the fact that Outriders, the people who fly, the developers of the game, have explicitly stated that it's not a live service game, but the way that they're treating it with updates and patches and balances, it kind of feels like a live service game. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, but really the goal is to answer, did Outriders kill Destiny? Why or why not? We'll get more into that later. But first, I just wanted to talk a bit about my impressions about Outriders, because I did do a video before just talking about the announcement of the game and, some of my early impressions. I was able to play the demo. I did play a lot of the demo. And then once the game launched, I did buy it. I did play it. I am finished with two of the classes, the Pyromancer and the Technomancer. I still have the Devastator and the last class. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I still have those two classes to go. Overall, my impression in terms of the story, in terms of the mechanics, is that it feels really good. For me, I never wanted to approach it like the moment that I knew, once I got my hand on the demo, essentially, even though I did play it with a friend, I knew that this was going to be one of those games that I wanted to go about by myself. Even though it does talk about, multiplayer, team up with your friends, and even though, at launch there was a little bit of issues there, but it really just, for me, it just felt like one of those games, especially with the fact that there is a definite ending, as they say, to the game. I wanted to approach it as a super challenging solo player. Just lay it on me. I just want to go at this alone. And for the first two characters, I felt that. Like, I really enjoy that element of the game. And, there's a little bit of a challenge, with its tier systems, tier 1 through tier 15. The loot aspect, there's a lot of loot going in, and, it just feels good. Honestly, playing those two characters or those two classes so far, it feels really good. But just as I had imagined, once you finish that, like once I finish all four characters, I don't know that this is a game that I would pick up later. Maybe, once in a while I'll be able to, hop back in and say, oh yeah, I want to play a little bit of Outriders now. But essentially, I play on PlayStation 5, but essentially once I get the platinum trophy for that game, I'm never picking it up again. Which is not, that's not to say that the game is bad by any means. That's not to say that, it's a horrible game, that it only has like a certain amount of life. That's just how I play it. Especially with the fact that I play that game alone. Now, there is an end game, essentially. There is things for you to do after you beat the main game, which if you play with friends, if you enjoy playing with your friends, that's definitely something you can do. But just for me, I feel like playing through the stories, unlocking, the unlockables and getting the platinum trophy, that's how I'm approaching the game. And so once I finish those accomplishments, I'm done. So, if that's if that's how you enjoy playing games, if you're a solo player at heart and you're just a accomplishment, hunter, trophy hunter, just want to, get 100% completion after you do that, at least for me, I don't see this game lasting long term in the state that it is. Now, moving on to the fact about, live service, apparently they had hinted at, maybe if the game is more successful, they will go down the live service route and, add updates into the game, add DLC, add different content. maybe that will work out. I can definitely see how that can work out for the game, especially with sort of like the mechanics is very similar to Division 2, I would say, more than Destiny 2, or just the Division franchise in general, with the, you know, the cover system. Even though some people in the community say, you know, you're not supposed to use cover, the way that the game works, you know, you're supposed to use your abilities and you're supposed to, you know, use your weapons, and, you know, you're supposed to just go full force into it. If they do end up making it a live service game, I feel like there is a certain population that would gravitate towards that. And I'm not sure that that population would be the Destiny 2 population, only because the way that the games play, the way that the games, you know, interact, like when compared side by side to each other, they offer two completely different things, two completely different environments, atmospheres, different elements, to where there's very minimal crossover between the two. So this goes back to the question, did Outriders kill Destiny 2? No, it did not. Will Outriders eventually kill Destiny 2 if it does become a live service game? Again, no, it will not. And this is more of my personal belief and my personal attitude towards what the next Destiny killer would be. They have to have certain things that Destiny already has in its current state in order to eventually take over it. I feel like I've been adamant about this, you know, especially when I stream and I talk about, you know, the state of Destiny. Destiny has I want to say a specific offering, but it's not so much specific as it is, you know, the pillars of building Destiny that Bungie seems to be in tune with, that makes it such a successful live service game as it is. Especially with this most recent season, I feel like Bungie has finally gotten into the flow of things. They've gotten their understanding of what they want Destiny 2 to be, you know, now and moving forward, in terms of the story and how they're telling the story, in terms of, you know, PvP. Even though the PvP community has some feelings about the stasis subclass, essentially they still have an offering of PvP, and even though updates are not happening as much as the community would like for it to, they have that PvP offering, which I feel is very important for the health of a live service game, because PvP is there to help cull the lull between content drops until they're able to figure out what they want to do and how they're going to tell the story. And of course, you know, with live service, once they, you know, get a rhythm in terms of just content, so not just story, not just PvP, but the PvE content, you know, surrounding it around specific holidays, which it seems like Bungie is getting out of because they have a more understanding of how they're going to build the content and how they're going to deliver the story. They don't need to fall back on, it's Valentine's Day, you know, it's Christmas time, you know, even though they've previously baked that into the game. I feel like we're going to start seeing a phase out of those major holidays because they know exactly what they want to fulfill, you know, with their content, and they know exactly what they want to do in bringing, you know, that content to the players. But essentially that is what is going to have to happen for a new company or an existing company who's hopping into the live service space. That is what's going to, you know, set the tone for if they are on track to kill Destiny 2, if that is eventually, you know, what they really want to do. I know that's just something that the live service players in the community is always wondering, like, who's going to dethrone Destiny 2? It just really has to, whatever that company is going to do, whoever that company is, you know, essentially going to be, they have to look at Destiny in its current state and be able to build off of that. You can't start from fresh. We've seen that happen with Anthem. We've seen that, you know, happen with other live service games where the community tries to pit it against Destiny 2, and it's like they haven't taken what Destiny has learned thus far and build off of that. They're trying to start from the ground up. The community is tired of that. I'll be the first to say that the community is tired of giving chances to these new companies, saying, hey, we're hopping into the live service space, and then making the mistakes that Bungie made when Destiny 1 launched. No. that's not going to fly. That does not spell success for that company or for that game or for that title, as we've seen with Anthem, unfortunately. So yeah, so that's just my thoughts. Unfortunately, no, it did not, or fortunately, depending on who you are or where you are on the fence, it did not kill Destiny. At this point, it's not going to kill Destiny, but that is okay. The wonderful thing about video games and this video game industry is that there's different strokes for different folks, different, franchises, different ideas about video games where we are allowed to play more than one game. So it is okay that, Outriders did not dethrone Destiny when there's more than enough space for them to sit at the same table. But that is it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, it's been a while since I've actually made a YouTube video, but I'm trying to structure it more of, just trying to get content out there and just talk about things. So there's definitely going to be more videos coming up. So if you like this, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button and go ahead and like, and, maybe in the comments, just talk about, your thoughts about Outriders and, how you're enjoying it so far. But until then, I will see you in the next one. Solo says, so long.